Even though the total runtime for this is less than 2 hours, the folks at Disney decided to make this into a miniseries rather than a film, making this the first ever original miniseries from Walt Disney Animation Studios. Let's talk about Iwaju. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the Disney Plus series Iwaju. This is 6 episodes long. Most of them, once you take away the several minutes of credits, end up being less than 20 minutes in runtime. So this is less than 2 hours total, but for whatever reason, they decided to put this in the miniseries category. But this is Walt Disney Animation through and through. It even has the Steamboat Willie intro at the beginning. So look, before we get into the specifics of this show, let me welcome you back to Dan Reviews It. If you are not one of my subscribers yet, please consider doing so down there and click that notification bell as well so you can get the alerts on all my new drops for videos. And if you are one of my subscribers already, thank you so much. Always love having you aboard. All right, so Iwaju roughly translated means to the future, and that is where this series takes place. This is in the future in Nigeria, and the basic premise here is that we've got this young girl who comes from a very sort of well-off family, and the whole island is pretty wealthy. And her best friend, who is a self-taught tech expert, the two of them discover the secrets and dangers hidden within their worlds and their families as well. This is, as a result, an adventure series, certainly sci-fi. There's a lot of tech stuff and robotic type stuff, and there's an iguana that is not unfamiliar. I mean, he looks just like Pascal from Tangled. And as a result, I think there's a little bit of mixed messaging going on here with this series, because I sort of thought it was going to be more comedic, because the main picture on my Disney Plus is of this iguana. And look, sometimes they do different pictures for different profiles. I'm an older guy, so maybe they have, certain pictures for me. I know Netflix does that. I may have a completely different thumbnail picture of a movie or a show than a friend of mine or a family member. I don't know if Disney Plus does that as well, but I am thinking that maybe they were thinking, oh, let's get more eyeballs on this because this character looks just like Pascal, and maybe he'll be funny and all of this. So we'll get the clicks that way. But this show is not very comedic, a little bit maybe, but compared to the usual Disney movie, no, not so much. And I think that is probably what prompted them to make this more into a miniseries than a feature film. Because when I think about Walt Disney Animation Studio specifically, when I think about their feature films, yes, some of them are certainly action-oriented, Tangled among them, but, things like Big Hero 6 or Wreck-It Ralph or whatever, there's a lot of adventure there, but there's also a lot of comedy, and they have definitely tried their hand at sci-fi, certainly in the early 2000s with a couple of different movies, but, for the most part, their feature-length movies are, comedic or princess stories or, a little bit of action, but, more on the comedy end, like a Wreck-It Ralph or something. Here they have something, I think, a bit more unique. It's not a musical. It's not certainly about a princess, but it is about, a young girl struggling to figure out, the secrets of her world and her family. So, all right, maybe some common themes with some of the Disney films, but in any event, yeah, this is definitely something a bit off the beaten path, and something that is more reminiscent of a Disney Plus original series, animated or not. I think the majority of the Disney Plus series have been, well, of course, there's several categories of that too, right? Because you have more of the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff, which is more action oriented, and then you have more of the like family friendly stuff, like the Mighty Ducks. I don't know. Anyway, but this is sort of a whole new universe for the Disney family, looking outside certainly our world and into, well, our country anyway, and looking into the world of Nigeria and what that lifestyle is like. And in fact, this most of this show is in English, but there is, there are a couple of different dialects, including Yoruba and Nigerian Pidgin. So there's a lot going on here, but the total runtime is, like I've been saying, less than 2 hours because the credits are about 4.5 minutes per episode, and no episode exceeds 25 minutes, and that includes the credits. So most of the episodes, when you take the credits away, are 20 minutes or less. One of them, I think, is 15 minutes. So in that respect, this is definitely sort of a new kind of arena for the Disney Animation Studio. And at first, this was going to be a series of just small shorts, which are typically 8 to 10 minutes. But I guess they felt like they had enough of a story to make it more of a miniseries. But you can certainly watch them all in a binge form and make it sort of like a movie. But as it is a series, each episode ends with, kind of a cliffhanger or a gotcha type moment, leading us into the next episode. So this was created by, or written by, I should say, Olifekeo Adola and Halima Hudson. And the lead voice here, the voice of the little girl, Tola, is voiced by Simisola Gabamosi, who, I'm not familiar with any of these people. But she does a good job, with the surprises and sort of the mysterious elements of this. But here's my problem with this show. I think it's way too drawn out. I think maybe because it was originally conceived as shorts, that may have been a better way to go, and had it be 6 or 8, 8-minute shorts, 10-minute shorts, building off of that and have the whole thing be an hour, because I think there's a lot of padding here. When I think about even the more adventure-based Disney animation films, there's usually more going on there. Now, I will admit, because I have the ad plan of Disney Plus, sure, they were stopping the action every 4 or 5 minutes to show me an ad for Walgreens. Okay, that maybe slowed the momentum a little bit. And when I watch a movie on Disney Plus, there's not that many breaks. There's maybe every 15, 20 minutes, there'll be like a chunk of commercials. But here, it was like every 4 minutes, they were pausing, the action. So, look, maybe that affected my viewing as well, but it was just hard for me to kind of really, really get into these characters. And especially when we've seen some of this stuff before, including, the cute, clever sidekick that they were really showing front and center on the thumbnail, even though, he really wasn't a big part of this, but overall, the action was okay. I mean, the conclusion was great. The final, the 6th episode, really, everything that this was leading up to was well put together, and there was some good action there, and it wrapped everything up nicely. But I think the journey to getting there was definitely a bit more of a mixed bag. But look, I do like that Disney has been sort of going outside their comfort zone the last few years to bring us stories from different parts of the world, stories about different people than we've seen maybe before in some Disney animated stuff. So overall, I think it's ambitious, but does not quite live up to me for what it could have been. So I leave Iwaju with a B-. But like I mentioned, I mean, this is an easy afternoon watch. The whole thing is under 2 hours if you pass, skip forward through the credits. So worth a watch probably, but, will it be remembered over time? Who's to say? All right, thank you so much for watching Dan Reviews It. I'll see you next time.